Well, whoever had the over on tonight's game, well done, because there was 11 goals. Unfortunately, Edmonton allows 7 of them and scores just 4. 7-4 is your final in favor of the Washington Capitals. Hi, everybody. Welcome to the GCL Diesel Oil Stream postgame show. I'm Tom Gazolla, live on location at Hudson's, White Avenue. Pretty good crowd here tonight, and people were having a good time, especially when the game was close. But the Oilers couldn't close the gap and end up giving up 2 empty netters, losing 7-4. You got Benny Thompson back at EST Global HQ on the city's west end, and we'll be touching base with Matt Cassian, our game analyst. Of course, we want to hear from you, 780-218-9999. That is the text line. We want to know what you thought of Edmonton's performance tonight, and then jump into the nasty chat. I kind of went into the nasty chat. I generally don't dive in there on the post-game show or pre-game show because there's so much going on otherwise. But I had to make a point. Like, Benny, we're getting people texting and be like, oh, watch these guys apologize for Stu Skinner. How do you apologize for Stu Skinner tonight? Goaltending, bad. Defense, bad. Forwards, generally pretty bad for most of the night. You don't win games playing a dozen minutes a night.
No.
How? They carried the play. When it was 5-3, they got the one goal to make it 5-4, and then they had the pressure. Then they weren't hemmed in their own zone. Then they weren't coughing up pucks as much. Not good.
Everyone struggled. The Skinner, brutal tonight. Brutal. The
game winner was 7-hole.
Yeah, the defense, brutal.
Yeah.
Forwards, I thought they had some jump at times. Start of third period.
Yeah, that's why I said 12 to 14 minutes on the text line.
Yeah.
Or chat, whatever.
Like, it's not good enough. It's not good enough. Just another just lazy game where you thought that they might have a little bit of motivation to win this one after the performance you had on Monday. And
nope.
Nothing.
Nope.
Nothing from them.
Nope.
Brutal.
There was like 3 goals on the first 7 shots tonight.
Yeah. That was bad.
Wow.
I don't understand. If I had to guess, Washington Capitals preparing for the Oilers today. They did their video, and they went back through all the Oilers games and went, look how they don't defend in front of their own net. They just let guys walk all around. They all go. They don't care. They'll maybe throw, a stick at you, maybe. That might give you one push. But they'll let you sit there. And sure enough, first 2 goals of the game are because you couldn't clear out the front of your net.
And it was Kulak, too, who's usually better than that.
Who's usually consistent. He was -3 in that first period.
Yeah, he's had a tough go.
Tough go. To be fair, who hasn't on that decor?
Everybody has, to be honest. Yeah.
It's
that one. I'll just quickly say this. That one Leonard goal where he had the break and it was Bouchard chasing him.
Yeah.
Like swinging your stick. Swinging your stick around his body when he's like in attack mode going towards the net.
Yeah.
Was so sad. You're big and strong too. You can push him.
Yep.
Knock him off the puck. That is something allowed in the game of hockey. It is a physical contact sport. But when you swing your stick and go, oh no. And he's digging in, going hard to the net.
Leonard was
one guy wants it.
There. Yeah.
One guy doesn't want it.
It's a great way of putting it. Like Leonard went into that whole situation going, I'm about to get a hit here. So I'm gonna try to reverse pop him and go. Yep. He reverse pops him. He didn't even have to. Bouchard gave him a little whack. That was it. Walked right past him. And Stuart Skinner, what are you doing on that play, too? Both of them, 74-2. Just, what are you doing on that play?
Well, that's why he had a .737 save percentage tonight.
Yeah. Well-earned one.
GCL Diesel, providers of the best diesel engine components around, turbochargers to injectors, fuel pumps to sensors. They are the critical engine component experts, proud to serve Edmonton and Northern Alberta for over 50 years. Tougher than Edmonton's defense without even trying.
Oh, yeah. Hard not to be.
Boy, oh boy. Oh boy. Let's just I'm gonna throw a couple stats at you. The Oilers end up out shooting the Caps 30-21, and okay, like a lot of it perimeter shots. Again, passing up opportunities in the slot. You want to talk about high danger chances? You want to talk about slot shots? They give up those looks willingly. They voluntarily pass it to the outside. Most of the time, they're trying to hit Draisaitl. Thankfully, he scores on a lot of those.
Yeah.
But guess what? Teams have picked up on that. Face-offs. Edmonton wins that battle, 53.7% to 46.3%. Power play 1 for 3. That's good. PK 1 for 1. That's good. All right. Nice. 16-11. The Caps out. Yeah. The Caps out hit the Oilers. Block shots, 25 for Washington, 6 for Edmonton. Do shots from the point that are like little wristers hurt to block? Just asking for a friend. Giveaways, 12 for Washington, 11 for Edmonton. Takeaways, 7 for Washington, 4 for Edmonton. What's Janmark doing trying to soccer ball the pass at the puck at the blue line, giving up that opportunity for the 5th goal, or the 5th goal, I should say. My goodness.
A lot.
My goodness.
Break down today.
Let's get to the text line, 780-218-9999. Not that I'm surprised that this is what we witnessed tonight. When we said roll the dice, pick a card, and whatever that random card says is how they'll play.
Because I was going to say, you should be surprised by any performance tonight, no matter how good or bad. Anything was on the table tonight.
JD, we're going to start off with his text. JD says, Tommy, why is it that Skinner is always falling forward? Watch 95% of replays that he gets scored on, and he's falling forward and catching himself with his glove on the ice. Is it just bad fundamentals? That's from JD. Joaquin has talked a lot about this, JD. He attributes it to poor skating ability. And you go, well, what the hell does that mean? What are you doing skating when you're a goalie? And it's just like control and movement and power, coordination with your legs and how you control your body. Joaquin calls that part of goaltender skating. Joaquin, if I'm wrong, I know you're probably watching or listening, text me, but I believe that's the gist of what Joaquin explains when he talks about Stu Skinner's poor skating ability. Joaquin even said it in our ESD group chat today. He's like, Skinner's skating. Like, it's not good. So, JD, it is troubling because you do see it. Like, he'll fall down, they'll get the picture of it, or people will isolate as a frame of a video, and it is weird. It's like, well, why is he in that situation? He kind of falls back and down. I know Mike Smith used to kind of do that too. Has to catch himself, like JD was alluding to, with his glove or his blocker on the ice. You know, from what I gather from Gager, who played at the NHL level in goal, he says bad skating. That's my sense of it. Yeah, it's not good. This text.
Yeah, it's always been that case.
Do you want to add to that, or do you want to get to the next one?
I wouldn't have anything more to add to that. It was brutal from him.
Okay, let's go to this one. Same old brutal defensive play. Zero awareness in front of their own net. Can't get a save. Load up the top line. Push at the end when it's too late. Pets' heads are falling off. Great line. Great line. Great line. This one says, Stu falls forward because his mustache makes him too top-heavy, thus making him off balance.
I like
the stash must go hard. Reset. Okay, I'm going to get to this one really quickly. This one says there needs to be a change. Early low-hanging fruit is benching someone, but also I'd fire the assistant defense coach. Either Knoblock takes a new direction or he accepts the poor defensive structure and play. Coffee left, and it seems the team's collective brain trust on how to play the basics evaporated. All right, I saw there's some stuff. I think Frank was talking about Paul Coffey. I'm just going to say this. Like, him clashing and butting heads with the coaching staff, that's not new. That's what Frank reported. Listen, he wasn't in charge of the defense. He worked with Mark Stewart on the defense. Mark Stewart was the technical X's and O's guy. Paul Coffey was the pump them up, breathe confidence in them type of guy. Don't even know if he opened up his laptop when he was behind the bench, okay? That's something I was told. He's a great guy, smart hockey mind. Now, he's clashed with former GMs. When Todd McClellan was the coach and Paul Coffey was brought in the first time, he clashed with that coaching staff because Paul Coffey has the swagger of a Hall of Famer who is one of the best in the league and in the world, quite frankly, and he'll tell you whatever he thinks and sees. And it's not always in the same flow as what the team is doing, what the coaching staff is doing, what management's doing. He just tells you like he sees it. Some people like that. A lot of people don't like that, especially when you're not on the same page, working under the same umbrella for the same organization. So not a surprise there. For those that are thinking, wow, without Paul Coffey, his coaching style was unique. Didn't really want to be behind the bench. I'd say Glenn Gulletson probably had more of a presence back there and have had more of an effect. But we're looking for answers collectively. And yes, maybe the difference behind the bench is notable. I don't know what Paul McFarland is like coaching-wise. I don't know what kind of impact he can have as a first-year assistant coach in the National Hockey League after working at the WHL. Probably not the same clout or even close to it as a Glenn Gulletson or a Paul Coffey for that matter. Just wanted to get that out there. Go ahead, Benny. You got anything?
I just like when we're talking about coaching, I truly believe anything's on the table for discussion with this team right now. There are not a whole lot of positives right now. The top guys looked like solid again, but dry. I didn't like some of the dry settle passes that we saw today. Like some like lazy, trying to go cross ice, picked off at left and right. This defense is bad. This goaltending is bad. The systems, coaching's on the hot seat. All this stuff. We have all this stuff to talk about. It's hard to pick one problem. I think it's a collective of everything. Honestly, that's leading to these losses. And they're going to play a good Tampa team tomorrow. That's been pretty damn good.
If they play like that, they'll probably have the same result.
Yeah. In terms of hanging around the game, I guess you can maybe give them a little bit of credit for that. They kept putting it within 1 goal reaches, but it was too little, too late. Like they didn't have that killer instinct to tie this game and cost them another 2 points, which sounds like a broken record talking about it, but here we are.
Here we are. Text us 780-218-9999. The Oilers fall 7-4 to the Washington Capitals, now 2-3 on this road trip. They're in Tampa, like Benny was alluding to, tomorrow night, and then they wrap it up on Saturday against the Florida Panthers. Let's welcome in our game analyst, former NHLer, Matt Cassian, to break this one down. Cass, it's funny because I was looking in the nasty chat earlier. People like, watch these guys defend the goalie. You can't defend the goalie tonight. You got to be ridiculous to even assume that. You can't defend the blue line tonight. They made terrible mistakes, poor judgment, allowed odd man rushes. The forwards weren't particularly great. They turned it on for the last dozen or so minutes. That's not a winning recipe, Cass. How'd you see tonight?
Lackadaisical and disconnected in the first. Defense that was backing way too far in. Too many turnovers at the blue lines, both by defensemen and forwards in their own zone and in the offensive zone. Bad goaltending. Like it was all of the above. Now they scratch and claw their way back into it and give them a chance to win the game. But guys, top to bottom again. I mean, this is just a game where you weren't good enough through and through. Top to bottom. I mean, we didn't know what we were going to get. Right. They were good in the third period.
Maybe there's a couple goals in the third period.
Yeah, and they actually played okay in the third period. Like they actually pushed and controlled the play. But you're kind of watching that, and the whole time I was thinking, like, why did it take till the third period to do this? Like it was, oh man,
it's a great question.
It's not like it was ugly, but it was ugly enough to just filter into exactly like the type of hockey we've been seeing all season from them, which is just uninspired, at times unintelligent, and just inefficient. Like from Stuart Skinner's goaltending tonight to, I mean, everybody. The Evan Bouchard getting walked, that was a bad look. Matthias Ekholm and Brett Kulak on the one goal, like just not being able to sort it out in front. That was a bad look. Stuart Skinner sliding across, and I don't know, he did like a stutter stepped himself, pump baked him, and I think it was on the that was on the first Leonard goal when I jotted that down, like where I don't know what he was doing on that one. Like it was just big mistakes tonight, crushed them. And I mean, yes, you have the jump in the third, but too little, too late, guys. Like you can't play like that.
Benny, anything you want to add? Are you seeing anything? I'm answering a couple of texts here real quick.
I mean, a lot of people are asking Cass how he feels with Skinner, but I know you just commented on it. You're gonna try to beat these allegations, like you openly admit to along with all of us. Skinner was bad tonight, but so was the rest of the team too. You can't pin this just on 74. You can't just pin this on 2. You can't just pin this on 96. You can't just pin this on Knoblock. It is a collective of all of them. It was an entire team was not good enough tonight.
Yep.
Disconnected.
Disconnected. And I said Skinner wasn't good enough. Like I always do when I think he's not good enough.
You love him, you Skinner apologist.
Try to be straight up with him. When I think he's good, I say he's good. When I think it's not his fault, I say I don't think it's his fault. When I think it's his fault and he's culpable, I say he's culpable. Tonight he was culpable.
780-218-9999. Let's jump in there because there are a lot of texts coming in. Jodes in Bonnieville says, can I bitch about Chris C and pro scouting now, Tom? You can bitch about anything. It's a weird one. Going after Chris Chahaki, who's been on the scouting staff for a while. He's been a coach in the organization. He's a nice guy. I don't know, Jodes, did you hate him as a Red Wing when he played? I think he's a nice guy. Everything's on the table. Everything's on the table. Let's go to this one. It says, Oilers and Leafs should trade. Maybe 2 wrongs will make a right. How is it possible that the defense coached by Coffey would be better than now? Paul Coffey, never known for his ability in his zone. The only good part of watching the post-game show after a loss is seeing me. Thanks. This one says, Caps weren't great either. That's the worst part about this loss. The bar wasn't that high to get a win. Team effort tonight. Yeah, no, that was bad. Okay, lots of text coming in. I'm going to read as many as I can because a lot of people are pissed off, and I think they're hitting their breaking point. This one says, first period, terrible for Skinner and Kulak, 2 worst, but the whole team could give about defensive awareness. Yeah, the defensive awareness all year long, boys. Yeah. Terrible. Dash says, Wilson was literally begging somebody on the Oilers to do something, anything. He hits Savoy, then gives him some stinky mitts later. The only guy that sticks up for the rookie is Connor McDavid. So then Wilson just said, well, if nobody will fight me, let me just go score 2 goals and put this dagger in your heart instead. Yeah, a couple of empty netters. He was giggling because of how that shot from Bouchard tickled when he blocked it and went back the other way and buried it. This one says, Cass, from the player's side, there is so many issues consistently the whole season so far. What is some logical changes that Oilers management should make? The obvious sound bites the players and coaches spew daily isn't working.
Yeah, no, the sound bites definitely aren't working. Obvious changes. Obvious. Oh, man.
And they're tight against the cap, too. Like, even heard Knoblock talk about it.
That's the thing. Like, that's where I don't know if there are obvious changes. Like, what I like to do, jump in a time machine and go back and not let Broberg and Holloway be bought out so you can control your cap a little better and you wouldn't have eaten as much up from some of the other guys and then you would have more space today. That's one, but we don't got a time machine. So without that, there's no obvious fix. Like we can't, I would love to say, hey, we got all kinds of draft picks we can trade and guys in the pantry that we could either bring up for an opportunity or we could move to bring in a veteran or a legitimate top 3, top 4 defenseman that's really going to help, that plays physical. But that's not obvious because it's not going to happen. So I don't think there are obvious fixes. And that's the challenging part. Like And for all the people that are like, well, just change the coach and change the system. Like a new coach is going to come in and he's not going to change the system that much. Now, maybe if you bring in Tortorella, he yells at the guys and maybe that does something, but like that's not the right. Yeah. Nobody like that's not ultimately going to benefit you as a team.
No.
And you want McDavid to leave? For sure, bring in Tortorella. He's gone. You want like everybody to want out? Bring Torts in. So there's no obvious fix because the obvious fix isn't firing the coach. I don't think that's going to happen. You're not going to fire your defense coach. That's not going to happen. I don't know. Like you could say, and for all the people that are like, just trade the goalie. It's just all the goalie. Like who are you going to trade for? Ms. Larkin. No, you're not. Like, no, that's not going to happen. Like there's not, you tell me like a legitimate and not like one of your fantasy, like I had this thing like that lady that wrote Twilight and it was like a dream about it. And so I wrote a book. Like it's not, you have a dream that yeah, you had a dream about it. And then she's like, I had a dream about it, wrote in the book. It's like, okay. You have a dream about, we traded Skinner and Pickard. We got Vasilevsky. Like it's not happening. There's no obvious fixes, and that's the frustrating, difficult, challenging part. They're up against the cap. There's no money there this year. Teams know it. There's no obvious fixes. Can I ask you guys this, or may I suggest this thought? And you can agree, disagree, ponder it. I don't care. I'll put it out to everybody watching and listening right now. Have there been so many breakdowns in all the critical areas of the team? Maybe the cracks started with the defensive play, and then it went to the goaltending, and then it spread to the forwards, and then it finally got to the point where the coaching staff didn't think that they could find any kind of tangible solution. That the cracks have turned into like a giant chasm where they're just guessing at everything and nothing is working, and there are no little glimmers of hope except for when they're in desperation mode in the last 10 minutes after they loaded up McDavid and Draisaitl, maybe Roslovic or Hyman, who made a great play on the Nurse goal, by the way. That's how you win a battle and hustle to a puck. That's playing with what Cass likes to call intentionality. But is it possible, you guys, that even though this team is 9-9-4 and they're kind of in the mushy middle, like we've talked about somehow, that there have been so many cracks that it's just created this huge chasm and they don't know how to crawl out of it, and it's so deep that they try and then they falter. Like that's just kind of how I'm envisioning this right now. Yeah, well, huge chasm. They're 500, so yeah. Like I'm hesitant to say it's this huge chasm, but maybe it is. Maybe you're right. Maybe it's a huge chasm between how we expect them to play and what we expect them to do, and how they're actually doing. Right, and that's the chasm. You know, they're not playing like the Calgary Flames. Like they're not 5-13 right now. So it's not quite the same situation, but I do wonder because like negative thoughts, a lack of confidence, not trusting your teammates, like that stuff is lethal and it does spread. And that's how teams get into big slumps. And that's how teams struggle for long periods of time. Is it when it gets to too many people, those cracks do start to widen. So there's cracks, or the chasm between how we expected and how I think they expect to play is there. But Tom, you touched on something else, and I want to hear your guys' thoughts on this. Like to me, it's not even just the big mistakes, because it's like they haven't worked their way out of the mistakes. No. Right, they made mistakes, yes, but they haven't worked their way out of it. If I go like to last year and the year before, not great starts to the season, but when they turned it around, because they eventually did turn it around, prior to them turning it around, it was like they were playing really well. They were just making some of those big dumb mistakes. Right, like they were playing well, they were controlling shots, they were controlling games, they just couldn't score in some situations. Look at like Zach Hyman last year and the number of grade A opportunities he had through the first 15 games and his goal totals. And it was like he basically could not score, although he had tons and tons of chances. Got robbed sometimes. Goalies made nice saves, snake bit, like whatever you want to call it. He just couldn't get it done. That's not where we're at this year. And so I just wonder if the expectation that it's just going to happen is still just lingering from the playoffs. Like, I don't know, guys. There shouldn't be a chasm. Maybe that's what I'm trying to say. There shouldn't be a chasm.
I'm with you on not there existing a chasm from a bunch of cracks that eventually caved in. But I think about things, and you're pointing to stuff that happened last year, like Hyman snake bit early in the season for, I think it was like 25 games-ish. Then he started to slowly wake up and got the ball rolling a little bit. But like those things where you're like, hey, they're doing stuff right, it's going to eventually turn around. That happened last year, but the way that this team plays right now, they don't do the right thing that puts them in a position to have success and are just unfortunate. They continually, consciously make the wrong play. Like, for example, continually passing up shooting lanes in the slot to go to the side. And I know you want the goalie moving side to side, and there's Belsey talks about going across Royal Road, which is the middle of the ice in the slot, and the percentage of the probability of scoring goes up like 30% if you can get a shot off. I get that, but when you're going from the middle of the slot and a goalie's coming to the middle of the crease or top of the crease, and you're going back the other way and you're not even getting a shot half the time, and we're going, boy, the Oilers really don't have high danger chances. Boy, the Oilers don't have a lot of slot shots. It's because they do little things like that.
Yeah.
And it's doing things the wrong way. That's one example. Holding the line at the offensive zone blue line. They don't do that. They make stupid decisions, like a bad pinch, ill-timed decision to try to toe drag a guy at the blue line. And it doesn't just happen once or twice, you guys. This happens on a night-to-night basis. Guys pinch on defense in the neutral zone. Jake Wallman gets busted pinching in the neutral zone. To me, it's the difference, but maybe there's the underlying numbers that are suggesting the Oilers are. I heard Shog talk about it, that it doesn't look good even in the underlying numbers. And those are the types of plays that I think are killing them and give us this doom and gloom feel about this team compared to last year and maybe even the year before.
Yeah, well, that's the underlying numbers. The analytics don't look good either. Mm-hmm. Right. Like, and that's where we watch it, and that's where analytics can be valuable. Is like you watch the play, you see what's happening, and then you're like, okay, let me look at the analytics and see if that's kind of backing up what I'm seeing. And if there's a major discrepancy, then I need to go back and watch again and break things down a little bit more and say, okay, is like, why is there a discrepancy here, and try to unpack that. But this year, and that's, last year again, we go to, okay, they are generating all kinds of chances, but they're making like the one big stupid mistake. And so if they can cut down on those, they should be able to turn this around, because their numbers actually aren't that bad. Like they're doing, and the numbers will always be good when you're playing well. That's the thing. Mm-hmm. Like occasionally there's outliers, but it's like, good teams have good analytics. Mind blown, right? All you analytics people are like, ooh, yeah. If you have a good team, they're going to have good analytics. Go freaking figure. Of course you're going to have good analytics. Right now, this team doesn't. They don't, because they're not playing well. They're not generating those high danger chances. They're turning way too pucks over. And when we can watch and evaluate and say, well, why? Tom, you brought up some fantastic examples. Now, when this team is effective, they have good support coming back to their own end, good high support from the forwards, which can then enable your defensemen to be more aggressive on the pinch, which then enables you to extend time in the offensive zone, generate more chances, generate more shots, and is generally a very good thing on offense. It's positive when you can execute it. But the decision-making has been pitiful at best. And look no further, and I know he hasn't played a ton of games, and I know he's a fourth liner, and I'm not pinning this on Matthias Janmark because I know you love the janitor, but trying to kick that puck in, like, that's a perfect example of it. The Wallman example, a perfect example of it, of like,
it is,
just stuff that absolutely kills you, that they're not telling them to do as coaches, but they're just making the decisions to do.
Ben Thompson, calm us down, please, somehow.
All right, guys. Okay. Deep breaths. In through the nose, out through the mouth.
You, Ben. You right now. I'm kidding. I'm kidding.
I you guys all brought up fantastic points. It's hard for me to add on to that, but what I'm thinking about this whole time is, especially this decor, it's pretty much the exact same decor as last year. The one that took them to Game 6 of the Stanley Cup Final. You swapped out Troy Stetcher for Alex Regula. Okay. What changed in an offseason? I
can tell you
guys. Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah. This is not the same group as last year.
Okay.
Because they're a year older. You have a year more wear and tear. Mm-hmm. Another shorter summer, wear and tear. It's not this, it's not, yes, it's the same. No, it's not the same. So,
same, but different.
Same, but different.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Well, let's dive into the inbox. 780-218-9999. Keep those coming. I'm going to read as many as I can tonight because I think we're definitely getting to a boiling point here with how this team performs. The results, of course, have pissed people off all season long, but the process and the lack of even some inkling that it might change is really pissing people off. And even to cover this team, it's like, oh, look at that. They got scored on the first 2 minutes and 17 seconds. Oh, look at that. They got scored on again. 2 goals on, 4 shots at one point? Mm-hmm. Oh, but then the Oilers countered with a goal in the first few shots. But at least they did that to Logan Thompson, right? Ha-ha! Didn't matter. Let's go into the about. I'm venting a little. I don't know why I'm mad. This one says, Oilers are passing to make the goalie move laterally because in practice, it's easy to score when the goalie has to move side to side. Greg, the sound guy, texting in. Okay, I'm laughing. Thank you.
That's pretty good.
Says, well, that was a thing. They gave a better effort, but the bar on that has been so low, not sure it matters. The better team won tonight, and deservedly so. Not good enough on the ice, not good enough on the bench, not good enough from above. I thought this would be a step-back year where they would bow out in round 1 or 2, but they are a lottery team with San Jose owning that number 1 pick. Cass, how much is this on the coach or GM? I mean, the coach can only play what he is given, but is he face planting into the same traps all the others have? Cheers, boys. Get a freaking goalie. And Greg, the sound guy, adds, Cass, thank you.
What goalie? What goalie are they going to get? And how much is that going to change it?
I think it's just like a general desire right now.
Yeah.
Fans know it's like, market sucks.
Yeah. I mean, it listen, I'm feeling it, I think, tonight, as we all are, the frustration with it, especially since it was just 2 games ago now where I was like, I feel like they could turn this around with Hyman coming back. And then they just chunked it twice. And, I don't even know what to say. Benny, just, you know what? Calm us down here a little bit more. Yeah,
you Benny, your take on Greg, the sound guy, asking about coaching and management and that, because you're coming, now you're a new journalist, broadcaster, but you've adapted to that very quickly. However, your fandom is still fresh in your mind.
It's tough for me. It's tough for, obviously you could go back and, okay, you regret not making that decision or that decision with your roster. With their coaching, I don't know how much they could have done. Chris Knoblock is one of the most, what's the word, winningest? Is that the proper word?
Winningest
coaches of all time. Paul Coffey
points percent,
did not want to be on that bench. He goes, all right, okay, well, you got to let him go. And he was more of a hype man. And anyway, Glenn Gulletson goes.
He lives in Toronto, you guys.
Yeah, that too. Glenn Gulletson gets picked up by Dallas. Okay, you can't do much about that. He was a great coach. There's a reason why the power play was doing well. As much as it was McDavid and Draisaitl, Gulletson was a reason for that too. Dallas picks him up. So you make these couple decisions to replace them. I feel like it's still a little too early to say it's those new additions that are the problem. You could go back into the letting Perry, Connor Brown walk. At the time, Those contracts that were handed out, I think all of us went, whoa. Well, that's a lot of money to be handed to a guy that is at that age and that at that point in his career. Of course, hindsight, should the Oilers go back and sign Corey Perry for whatever he made in LA? Yeah, absolutely. That would have been a fantastic addition to this roster. But they don't, because he got paid. He got paid in LA. There's a lot of blame to go around. I believed that this roster that we are currently watching still has enough skill to pull them to a playoff spot. The question is a Stanley Cup final or even a win this year. I don't think so. I think everyone's seeing that. Some people are saying not playoffs. To me, there's blame to go past just management. Be coaching management, but there's guys on this roster right now that are simply just not living up to their potential. I think it's all around. Blame go all around.
Ben, you have.
I want to just jump because I'm seeing this a lot, so I'm getting in fights right now on the nasty chat. And people are just like, Colorado traded 2 goalies last year.
Thank you.
Colorado traded 2 goalies last year. You could trade 2 goalies. Which freaking 2 goalies are you going to trade? Like, who are you going to get?
Who's on the market
to fit in the cap that other teams are going to trade you? Well, Colorado did it I don't care that Colorado did it last year. There's no. Well, the Oilers traded 1 goalie and traded for Dwayne Rollison. 2006, look what I did. 2006, Dwayne Rollison. Okay, trade for Dwayne Rollison right now. Guys, hips aren't going to work. Who are you trading? Like, everyone that's saying that, like, who legitimately, and don't just throw, like, Vasilevsky, like, who legitimately is going to trade you? Soros. No, right now they're not. Right now they're not. And how can you fit that in the cap?
You literally cannot.
You literally cannot. So I just can't. So please provide me a very rational, real situation where you could trade 2 goalies. But Colorado did it last year. The GM just needs to find a way. The GM just needs to find a way. The GM just needs to find a way.
He needs to make up cap space and just
needs to invent to somehow get guys to rewrite their contracts and backdate them and change stuff and get approval from the league to do is that what you're expecting him to do?
Well,
right
the
now?
GM would have to untangle a series of extension cords that are 100 feet long each that have certainly been tangled up for the last little while.
Right, I understand again. I understand the desire to do something. And I understand where we look at this and say, well, management needs to figure it out. And someone had posted the Craig Button quote, you don't feel sorry for him as a GM. It's your job, figure it out. Well, yeah, it is your job, figure it out. But guess what? He put himself in this, so he may not be able to figure it out. Because there's only, you don't have unparalleled, this isn't NHL 96.
Great game,
right?
by the way.
It's a great game. This isn't NHL 2002 or 2001, where also you can force trades on the system. That's not what this is. Oh, of course you did. I did. Everybody did.
I did too. Yep. Pretty sweet.
Yeah, I mean, you put him. You blame the GM for putting you in this situation, absolutely. But to say that he needs to just wave the magic wand and you've traded 2 goalies and get it back. Well, Colorado did it. Guess what? What's the name of the team we're talking about here? Are we talking about the Colorado Avalanche? No, we're not talking about the Colorado Avalanche. Who are we talking about? The Edmonton Oilers.
Colorado also has defensemen that will physically try to outmuscle you and make smart plays and headman the puck.
Yeah.
The Oilers right now do not.
Their problem last year was just goaltending. It was not a mixture of a bunch of stuff. Alex Georgiev was brutal. And I'm not here to say Stuart Skinner is much better. But the Oilers' defense in front of him doesn't play very well either. So who knows if a goalie's going to save it? If Stuart Skinner's not in net tonight, do the Oilers win?
No.
The whole team
Definitely
played
not.
bad today. Skinner's 100% part of the blame. It doesn't make any sense. And I think your rant, Cass, some people might twist that. If there's an upgrade that makes sense, you should go do it. Go do it. But there's just what goalie makes sense right now? There isn't.
Mike, the Michigan fan, in the nasty chat. Trade Skinner and Nurse for John Gibson. Okay.
I
actually don't know if you were joking with that. I'm hoping you were joking.
Mike, the Michigan fan,
I think you're joking.
Quite funny.
So I hope you're joking because it's
he is.
It's not.
I guarantee you. Well played, Mike. Well played for you. Well done. All right, I have a few texts that I want to get to. There's been, like I said, a flood of texts, and rightly so, after the Oilers lose 7-4 to the Washington Capitals. Really a 5-4 with a couple of empty netters. This one says, "Hey boys, and Cass, I'm going to push this towards you because you have the actual experience in this. How much of this is that they have been on the road so much that they do not have the practice time to implement new or different systems?" And I'll add tweaks to a system that they've implemented, because you've said it before, it's hard to change. Belzy said it's hard to change. Joaquin has said it's hard to change systems in season.
But what systems are they changing? Tom, you tell me. What systems have they changed?
What did they do? Something different in the neutral zone? Whatever the hell they're doing, it ain't working. And then they kind of changed up their D zone coverage. There's a tweak in there somewhere.
Not really in the D zone. Now, neutral zone,
okay.
neutral zone, they went a little softer.
Sorry,
now they
PK,
went a little soft.
They switched.
Like PK, they switched, but neutral zone forecheck, they went a little softer, and they did that with the thought being is they looked at the numbers and they looked at where they struggled, and they said, okay, rush chances against is where we're giving up everything, and they were. And that's where they're like, okay, if we play a little softer, we have a little bit more help from our forwards, we're going to give up a little bit less. But that's not something that you need to practice a million times. And you've had lots of practice to do it in games, by the way. So I like, does the practice time affect? The practice time could affect from a confidence standpoint some things, because you're not getting as many reps in, because the one thing that you get in practice and not games is you get reps over and over and over again. And games is not quite the same. So do they miss that? Does that affect them? Yeah, it's going to affect them. Is it the whole reason? No. Like, it's like, oh, if they only had more practice time, they'd be playing way better. You want to tell me that? No. And just they haven't dramatically changed systems. You have the same head coach. You might have slightly different emphasis on some things, but it's not like you blew up everything and restarted. They're still playing a zone defense. They're still trying to have layers in that defensive zone. That's not different. No. So I don't know. I like in the Edmonton Oilers for life won in the nasty chat. You guys are delusional. We gave up 18 shots before the empty net goals. How are we saying that they can't trade for two goalies right now? How is that delusional? We blamed goaltending just as much as we blamed everyone else. So either you just tuned in and we're just like, oh, they're just saying Skinner's great. No, we didn't say Skinner's great. Benny literally just said if you had a chance to upgrade, you'd upgrade. Aaron H, 87, Rational Cast, you're the furthest thing from rational right now. What an absolute clown show. Well, thank you. I am not rational right now. I am upset right now. So maybe I'm not rational. But what is rational? Trade for two goalies. Colorado did it last year. Like, give me a freaking break. People.
To the guy that said that the Oilers allowed 18 shots for those two empty netters. You can't tell me you watched this hockey game and saw, oh, that was a good defensive hockey game for the Oilers. Yeah. Like they leaked chances left and right. Those 18 shots, I'm willing to bet a lot of them are high danger. They just did not play good enough defense. Their goalie didn't bail them out, and they didn't have the offense to make up for all that. There's blame all around.
Absolutely. This text from Kalber, I hope I'm pronouncing it right, says, I've been a Skinner defendant for years, but he was brutal tonight. Slow, side to side, horrible in their own end, for sure, but Skinner didn't make a big save when needed. No, he didn't. You were down 2-zip, you get one back, and you need a save on a 2-on-1, it goes 7-hole. I could go on. I mean, yes, the defense was spotty, very spotty and questionable in front of him. He was not as good, or he was equally as bad, if you want to look at it that way. Nobody's giving him a pass tonight at all. This one says, no. be as mad as you want, but the issues. Okay.
We got one in from someone named Bellazy7.
Okay. Bellazy7? Okay.
Bellazy7. And Bellazy7 says you're a joke. Yeah, says you're a joke, Cassian. Ha ha ha. Can we block that guy?
Yeah,
can we
absolutely.
Ban him? Put him in jail for life. Yeah.
Yeah, you coward, can't even use your real name.
Yeah, Bellazy 7.
Let alone he's on the pre and post tomorrow.
What? Okay. Do we have any audio to get to?
We have Chris Knoblock, and in 2 seconds, we have Darnell Nurse.
Okay, Cass. Can you stick around for one of these? Give your reaction. Look ahead to tomorrow. Who do you want to hear? You pick.
I don't care. Benny pick.
Okay, go, Benny.
Let's go, Chris Knoblock. I'm curious.
Oh, yay.
Yeah. We'll see what he says here. Here's Chris Knoblock from tonight.
The opening 6 minutes. How would you describe the effort from your club here?
For a team that's, not happy with the way they're playing and feeling very discouraged, I like the energy. I like obviously they're disappointed, but they're pushing hard, and not necessarily I like the defensive details of our game, but they're pushing. They have the energy. They feel like any game that they have a chance to win. And after the start, being down early, we had a lot of pushback throughout the game, and right up to the end where we had some chances to tie it up. But we can't expect to score 5-6 goals to win hockey games.
When it comes to the defensive side of the puck, in what areas do you feel like maybe your group fell short tonight?
Just the commitment to protecting the dangerous ice. You look at the first goal against, we got a lot of guys out of position on that, and we get beat to the dangerous ice, and we don't give Stu much help. And you look at these nights where Stu's given up a lot of goals, and you're thinking, it's on goaltending, but we're not making the game easy for him.
When you look at David Tomaszek from the press box into the goal-scoring department, what did you think of a role that's tough to do, but he did well in it tonight in getting a chance to play?
Yeah, very happy with David's play. It's tough not coming into games when you haven't played for a while, and really we haven't had any practice time either. He's been on the ice doing some skills and some skating to keep his conditioning up, but not to have that game like atmosphere for him. It's been a while, and tonight I thought he had a solid game. Nice to see him rewarded with a goal off of a forecheck there, but we'll need him to play like that even more, because playing shorthanded, we'll need contributions from everybody.
What did you think of those contributions, getting more scoring throughout the lineup, and it looked like they helped push the comeback? They fell a bit short, but they were important in their roles.
Yeah, we need to have secondary scoring. We can't rely on Connor and Leon or whoever's playing with them. We need some bottom six contributions. Tonight we got some of that, which is good, and going forward we got to continue having some of that. But whether you're first line, fourth line, yes, offensive contributions, but also making sure that we play good, solid defensive hockey.
What's the frustration like when every time you guys score, it seemed they had an answer for you? How do you keep a positive, maybe, energy on the bench?
Yeah, it's very disappointing because you dig a hole and you fight to get back into it, and then you are in that hole again. And it's this group is a resilient group. They are frustrated, but they are resilient, and they don't give up. And seen that time and time again. So we have to stay with it.
All right, there's Chris Knoblock. This text says, Knoblock is trained in the compliment sandwich way of reviewing his team. I kind of, at first, that first answer or two that he gave off the top, I'm like, he kind of sounds like he's ready to boil over, but he is so poised and, what would I say, measured, that he will not allow himself to blow up. But it looks like he probably dropped a bunch of expletives in the coach's room at some point prior to fixing himself up and going out there and being very compliment sandwich-like towards his team, despite how poorly it played. But guys, in all seriousness, though, jokes aside, how many times did he talk about the defensive structure or lack of awareness defensively or lack of execution defensively? I think that's his tell when he communicates that he's pissed off about something.
And he does compliment sandwich it, right?
Yeah.
Like the like, I'm going to say something positive, then I'll say my little negative, then I'll say something positive to kind of keep it in there, which is If you're you're managing people, your dad, spouse, whatever, mom, sister, friend, like it's actually a very effective way of bringing up issues or things with people because it actually does assist with their ability to accept it. But come on, man, at this point, it is a little bit telling, and it's defensive issues. Now, it's Stuart Skinner's issues as well tonight, as we mentioned. Stuart Skinner's issues as well, where he did not help himself. But the massive defensive breakdowns in front of their net, and I kind of reading between the lines for me. So you guys tell me if I'm off my rocker on this one or not. But reading between the lines with some of his comments in the middle, the negative ones on the defense, he basically was saying, I'm going to interpret it in my language. What I would want to say is, man, those guys are soft right now in front of their own net.
Yeah.
Like, did I hear that correctly?
Yes.
Yeah.
Because that's what it sounded like he was between the lines saying.
It's like a sandwich wrapped in a really shiny packaging.
Put a bow tie on a turd, still a turd.
You betcha, baby. Tomorrow, Cass, they're in Tampa. How? What? Is it even possible? Can they? Will they? What do you think?
I mean, remember when you asked me on the pregame show and you were just like, hey, is this like the type of game where you got beat up pretty good by Buffalo, and so you come out and you like have a great game and you're like ready to go and you're like all engaged and they come out firing on all cylinders and play 60 minutes and play guilty. And I was like, I really don't know with this team. I mean, we're heading into that exact same situation. I mean, maybe it's that you're probably going to play shorthanded. You know, you're not going to have time to get someone here tomorrow for the game time. So you're going to play with a player short, most likely, with Regula going down, what seems like.
Yeah.
So you're going to have 11 forwards, 6 defensemen, playing a man short. Does that pull something out of them? Maybe. But we ain't going to know. I know Tampa's going to be smelling blood. You know, they're going to look at this and go like, ooh, we're just going to float through this thing. They've been really, I don't know if you guys have been paying attention, people that have been watching Tampa, but they are red hot. They are red hot, 7-3 in their last 10. You started a little bit slow, but they've been picking up steam. So I know you think that we're going to trade both Skinner and Pickard for Vasilevsky and Hedman before the game, but that's not going to happen.
Nice.
That would be nice. Not going to happen. So yeah, I don't know, guys. I don't know, like, because Tampa's going to push, and we're either going to see a tremendous effort from Edmonton, or we're going to see like a deflation that is going to carry through the rest of the roadie. Like that's where we're at on this, guys. It's like they're going to just be deflated and defeated back to back, man short, sucked yesterday, sucked the game before, and just more suck until the road trip hopefully ends at some point and they can go home and sleep. But maybe they bounce back. Like it is so unpredictable. I mean, flip a coin, roll a dice, do whatever. You need that reads D100 again, because there's just so many multiple of outcomes that this team provides us that we have no even like, oh, it's a good game or a bad game. It's like we have no idea what to expect. So I know if they play like they did tonight, they're going to get absolutely rolled. And yes, they pushed in the third period, but you can't tell me that's okay. You were down a whole bunch of goals already. It's not a silver lining. They have the type of defensive mistakes. They're going to get rolled. So up in the air till we actually see.
The amount of love and attention Reed's D100 has been getting lately is amazing for a weird little dice that I didn't even know existed till he brought it up. Incredible. Cass, you were fantastic as always, my friend. Enjoy the night off. We'll catch up with you later in the week, okay?
Thanks, guys.
There you go. There's our game analyst, Matt Cassian, helping us break down Edmonton's 7-4 loss to the Washington Capitals. I mean, I want to say we should be surprised, but we're not surprised. And then I also am thinking, like, why would I say we should be surprised? Because we expected a low bar from this team, and that's exactly kind of what we got. And it's anger, it's frustration, it's annoyance, it's rage at some points.
Yep.
But yeah. Let's see. Let's read a couple of texts before we get to the. What are you laughing at?
Chat.
Okay, you go ahead. I've got a couple ready, but you go.
Box Pounder said, I think we can all agree that it's completely the fault of the media, which then Matt Hyman replied to, partly true. Nurse was better. Media needs to motivate everyone else now.
You're welcome. We affected him.
Yep.
and
2
said,
goals.
you need to be better. 2 goals. He was on hat trick watch for most of the game.
Yep.
That's something, right?
Media should take credit
I'm also
for that.
being facetious. We already did. I'm doing it on the record right now on the GCL Diesel Oil Stream post-game show. All right, let's go to this one. It says, wait, Cass, is that why you snickered after complimenting my bow tie? Am I a turd to you? Wink emoji. And then this one also says, Oilers are a box of Forrest Gump chocolates. I never know what you're going to get. This one says, I would pay to see Knoblock lose his LOL. Yeah, I think a lot of people would. He has looked a little more disheveled.
He lost it on in that Detroit game. They showed that in the Oilers Plus episode they did, which was cool to see. But I mean, you didn't get inside the locker room. But I appreciated that he ripped his team because they were diddly doing and all this stuff, and throw every expletive you can possibly imagine in there too. I'd imagine that at least either tonight or maybe against Buffalo, he had one of those moments. I wouldn't have been shocked if it was tonight as well.
This text coming from Calvin Park. What's up, Calvin Park? Says, Ekholm, a shell of what he was, and we have 3 more years of this. McDavid ennui since the Stanley Cup final. Even after he signed, he looked like meh. The nuclear option blowing up in your face. After watching the Jays and now the Raptors, these guys are not bought into the team concept. They have been told nuclear will save them and play well or not. It doesn't matter. And then Cal adds, Knoblock, we need secondary scoring. Also Knoblock, Connor, Leon Hyman, we are down to, you are playing the entire third period. Yep, good point, Cal. Great text. Thank you, sir. This one says, I've seen guys suck before, but they were the suckiest bunch of sucks that ever sucked. And then here's another famous quote. They just plain sucked. I've seen them suck before, but they were the suckiest bunch of... Yes, those are... what movie was that or show? Is that Simpsons?
I thought Step Brothers.
Step Brothers... Great line.
It was a Will Ferrell line. I thought. Maybe I'm wrong.
Suckiest bunch of sucks. Is it old school? I can't remember. Maybe. This one from Adam and Lloyd is what's up, Border City. It says, hey, boys, woof. Oilers won the high danger scoring chance battle tonight, 17-10. Yay. Could be a really bad end to this road trip with the defensive play they're rolling out right now with Pickard in net tomorrow and with the Panthers team looming to rub salt in the wound of that second Stanley Cup final defeat on Saturday. I predict a beat-up and beat-down team flying home from Florida after the weekend. Hard to get up for these games lately. I guess we should be used to these starts after the last few years. Have a good night, boys. Thanks for the text, Adam. Out in Lloydminster, Homer Simpson had that, where the suckiest sucks. I thought so. Shanzi says, I'm patiently waiting for the American Thanksgiving Tom Gazolla yearly Oilers are dog rant. Shanzi. Oh, they're getting close to that, Shanzi. I'll tell you what.
I'm feeling that might get a little... that might have to come a little earlier, Tom. You're going to turn this team around.
It was on November 9th, 2023 when I had the big one that I even looked at. I was like, ugh.
Yeah.
Wow, I really unloaded there for like a 12-minute... Awanik called it something. It was like an SNL monologue, he called it.
Wow.
And I was like, really, Matt? He's like, oh, yeah, it was wonderful. I'm like, I don't know. You're your own harshest critic, though. Let's go to the turning point of the game presented by Advantage Sport Medicine and Physiotherapy. Connor McDavid's got a team of specialists. You have a bag of frozen peas. Get the same locker room approach trusted by the best in the game at Advantage Sport Medicine. Book your assessment today. www.advantagesportmed.ca or call 780-460-9977. Listen, I'll give them credit for digging their way out of a hole, but not quite all the way, right? Darnell Nurse made it 3-2. But then Ryan Leonard made it 4-2. They did close to within one on the Tomaszek goal. And then Beauvillier made it 5-3 Washington. I think it was that 5-3 goal where you're really like, all right, it's over. They're not gonna pull out of another 2-goal deficit. They tried a couple of times, and this team barely gets to past 3 goals, and they got to 4 tonight. But once they got that 5th one, you're like, these guys are toast. So that's your Advantage Sport Medicine and Physiotherapy. Turning point of the game, the Beauvillier goal, his 4th of the season from Strome and Chychrun at 6:37 of the third period. I'm going to read this one here too, Benny. It says, Tommy, do you know why this team struggles to break up the cycle in the D zone? Are they not being aggressive enough and separating guys from the puck along the boards Or are they just not working hard enough? That's from Cozy. Cozy, I think you answered it. I think you're bang on when you say they're not being aggressive enough to separate guys from the puck. And part of me thinks they kind of played and they kind of play weak, wimpy hockey in their own zone. Mm-hmm. They have guys that are capable of not doing that. But for the most part, guys who can be physical presences or can be a physical presence, like a Darnell Nurse, not doing it. Weak, wimpy, soft hockey in his own zone. Matthias Ekholm, older, slower, coming off a surgery or an injury in the offseason. Was it the torn abductor?
Yeah.
Not asserting himself physically, playing softer, weaker, wimpier, whatever you want to describe it as. Evan Bouchard, no chance in hell. He does not have a mean bone in his body. Did you see him play that Ryan Leonard break?
Yeah. I mean, I think Wallman has a little bit of an aggressive physical bone in him. He just does it at the wrong time.
Yep. Nailed it. Yeah. Regula, new to the NHL. Sounds like he's hurt again. Ty Emerson, he tries. He's relatively new to the NHL. All of those guys, after going down the list of defensemen, and you go, oh, yeah, they don't really separate anybody from the puck, play aggressive or physical at all. And if, like Cass was alluding to, maybe the strategy on how to play in their back end is a little softer, then they're lost without a paddle in the middle of the ocean when it comes to their defensive game. And it looks like that on most nights, 22 games into the season. Cozy, I think you nailed it, man. I'm with you. They can't separate. They don't. They're soft. They make bad decisions, and it's a terrible combination. And then it makes mediocre goaltending look piss poor. Benny, go ahead.
Yeah, it's it's frustrating. I think that's always been a talk, though, is the Oilers, they don't have that cycle stopper. And I remember that was part of the deadline talk last year. It was like, oh, they need a right shot cycle stopper.
Yes, I still believe that.
Yeah, and they still do. But they went out and got Jake Wallman, who I think maybe they thought could have been that guy. And he's more of an off the rush type defenseman. They're 100% their cycle. I don't think their cycle defense has been very good at all. I think this has been even a thing when they went to Cup Finals. Like they struggled breaking up cycles in their own zone. What this defense excelled, and in my opinion, maybe even the best in the NHL at doing, was exiting their zone, was making the great first pass or making the right off the boards play that are allowed hit their forwards and speed. That is what has been lost so far this season. Evan Bouchard has had his moments of doing that over the past couple of games. I personally think he's still not up to his potential. But this defense has lost its puck moving ability at its old level.
Yeah.
So I think now that you can't break up cycles and now you can't break out of your zone, it's leading to a lot of defensive opportunities you're giving the other team. And yeah, that's what leads to the record.
Listen, it worked in the playoffs when you heard they wanted more puck movers and the strategy wasn't to be tougher in their own zone and being able to headman the puck. And that's why they got Klingberg and all that stuff. And that's why they went and got Wallman. I like Wallman. I'm okay with Wallman. Klingberg ended up being better after he got hurt and returned and all that. But it still blows my mind that they're like, no, we need more soft defensemen who can barely get the puck to make the headman pass. We need more of those guys because eventually we'll get the puck somehow because our goalie will make a save. Oh, wait, our goalie won't make the save. Oh, wait, our forwards won't do their job in their own zone to get the puck out. That's why it blew my mind. Like, you need guys who know how to play defense to actually play defense. That's why, to me, Ekholm, part of his allure and what made him so great when he came here is because it was like, oh, that's what a big body D-man who could break up the cycle and chip in offensively looks like. That's a well-rounded... Oh, right, we had those before. Anyway, that's just an aside. I would like to get to this one from Coyote Steve. It made me laugh. Thank you, Coyote Steve. In the nasty chat, Coyote Steve says, Tommy, Bouchard playing defense is like a screen door on a submarine. Well done, sir. Well done.
Well
to you, I
done.
will applaud you. That was very well played. Very well played. To all of you who are reminding us that Calgary whooped Buffalo, yes, they did. That's what the Oilers people hoped would do to the Sabres. Instead, they got their asses whooped by the Buffalo Sabres. All right, let's get to David Bunting, real estate player of the game. David Bunting, consistent top-producing realtor in the greater Edmonton area for over 18 years. He and his team would love to help you find that right home or make the move from your current home. They're community-driven, and he understands what it takes to make a difference in our city. Please check him out, DamonBunting.com, or visit his Instagram at Damon Bunting Real Estate. Ben Thompson, take it away.
Okay, so I'm not going anyone on the 3 stars, and I'm not going to go Oilers here. Okay, I'm saving everyone the
You can't
there.
go Oilers.
I know. This guy is a topic of conversation for the Olympic roster. He led all Capitals in ice time today, that is including defensemen. Scored 2 empty netters, but to me, he had his impact throughout the game, leveling guys, good on the forecheck. His forecheck caused the first goal of the game. Tom Wilson, he's a tough customer. Just throws around, hits guys. Tonight was nothing short of that. Scores his 2 empty netters, but was leveling guys, chirping guys. He's got a good chance of making the Olympic roster, and then Doug Armstrong was in the building tonight, so he had a pretty damn good showing to show that he can make that Olympic roster. So yeah, he's my Damon Bunting player of the game today.
I have nothing but respect for that choice, Ben. Well done, sir. All right, let's wind things down with a few texts. This one comes in from Dawn in Edmonton. She says, good evening. I really appreciate your perspective, Cass. Keep up the good work. Dawn from Edmonton. I wanted to get that one in there, Dawn, because Cass is probably still watching or listening, and he appreciates it. Mm-hmm. Okay. Yes, there's a whole bunch that came in earlier. This one says, what are the Oilers using as trade capital, and where's the cap space coming from? No goalies on the market either. Yes, we've been reminding people that it is desolate. Desolate. This one says, gosh darn it, I love fiery Cass. This is so cathartic. Yes. What else do we have here? I love this one. RNH was invisible tonight. Well done.
Oh, yeah.
Well done. Yes, he was. Someone reminding us that Arturs Shilovs was right there. Yup. And I know there was like questions surrounding him. Can he be the guy? Where's he at? Tough year last year after having that playoff that he did a couple of years ago, essentially coming out of nowhere. And he ends up in Pittsburgh. I wonder, but after the Evander Kane trade, I don't doubt as much. But the trade within the division, if the Canucks would be willing to do that. But I guess, they made the move with Kane with the Oilers, so maybe they would. Opportunity missed. I can't deny that.
I wasn't in favor of making that trade in the offseason, mainly just because I had more faith in Pickard heading to this into this season. Now, obviously, he hasn't had a great start.
No.
And then Stuart Skinner, obviously, you're going through your Stuart Skinner motions. And, of course, she lost has a 9-17 in Pittsburgh. But to be fair, I'm honestly willing to believe that the Penguins play better in front of him than they do in front of Skinner. Than the Oilers do in front of Skinner. I don't think he's a long-term option there in Pittsburgh. I know he's 24. I'd be shocked if he turns into a regular, everyday NHL starter, which is what I think the only deal the Oilers were willing to do in the offseason was go get a bona fide starter. Mm-hmm. John Gibson ain't that guy. And they dodged the bullet not going there, which I was happy about. We'll see if there's another one that comes up on the market throughout the season, but I doubt it. I doubt it. I don't blame him for not picking up Shilovs personally.
This text just says, I blame Benny. Way to go, Ben.
Yeah. You know what? Yeah. I'll take it. I'll take the blame.
You'll be all right.
I can soak it. It's all good.
Jason Stevens texts in and says, is Tom Gazolla Dennis Reynolds? And I said, that is a great and crazy character on an amazing show. If you don't know, It's Always Sunny in Philadelphia. Dennis Reynolds is one of the main characters. He is a lunatic, but he does pop off. And when he pops off, I think a little of how I popped off sounds like Dennis. And great catch there to Jason. I like it. And then this text says, if this suck cycle continues, I would like to see Mr. Bowman step in front of camera and explain to his season ticket base how he's going to fix it. Yeah, that's fair to ask, and they have done that as an organization in the past. I think of 2018 and 2019. We were talking about this, I think, on the Hangout, or maybe it was on afternoon edition of the Oil Stream, where they rolled out Bob Nicholson, and he had like 5 sessions with big chunks of season ticket holders in like a 3-day span. He had like 5 per day, and it was like an hour and a half each. And obviously you're going to get a lot of repeat questions and themes, and you say the same thing over and over and over again. And then he had there's something in the water quote that came out of it. And although that was a bad thing to say, and the Tobias Reader say, if Toby Reader had 10 goals instead of 0, it would be a difference maker. Like, those are thoughts that the hockey ops people have and go, well, we didn't think this guy would have donut in the goal column. If he had 5, we might be better. That means like a win or 2 more. If he had 10, we might have 4 or 5 wins more. And then we're right there. And I think when you're being rolled out that much in high pressure situations with fans that are irate, and listen, those fans invest big bucks in this franchise, some of the highest paid prices across the league. So they invest hard-earned bucks in this franchise. And when you get crap performances like they were getting in 18 and 19, and like they're getting this year, you want answers. You need somebody to take responsibility and give you some sort of answer. And they rolled Bob out, 10 times in those sessions in 2 or 3 days. I think Bob at, 7 years of age at that point, probably got a little bit tired. And I don't think that was a great strategy to put him through the gauntlet like that, the way they did. So, yes, he said those things. Yes, they were terrible and bad quotes. And obviously it led to us referencing them now. But I just remember that. I'm like, okay, how many meetings with season ticket holders did you guys send them out to? 5 total today. Why? He is old.
Yeah.
He is tired. He is traveling between here and Europe doing double IHF duties and Oilers duties. Like, it was just insane. So anyway, I'm just giving you some more background on that. It doesn't excuse anything. It was ridiculous, and it was a bad time in oil country those 2 years. All right. That was Larzy with that text about if the cycle continues, I would like to see Bowman stuff. And that's fair. And I think that's reasonable to ask from them if this continues. Like, I don't know how much longer, Ben, I can just be like, yeah, they're not playing well, and the numbers and underlying metrics aren't great, but they're right there. Like, even I don't believe when I say it on the air, yeah, they're kind of right there still, because the process in which they got to this point has been so crappy.
They have
and poor.
They have 4 regulation wins this year.
They haven't won in regulation in 3 weeks.
Yeah, that's my and I go back. That Montreal one was a miracle. They won regulation.
Yeah.
Even within their 4 regulation wins, there wasn't a whole lot to celebrate. The Rangers won. Stuart Skinner stood on his head and bailed them out in a game. Like the Utah and Vancouver game are the only games this year that you can go, okay, all right, you know what? The Oilers were the better team. They deserve to win that one.
Right. Absolutely.
And all right. That's it. Like, it's just that's what we got now is 2 games out of 22 now. That's why there's doubt.
Not good. Not good enough. All right, that's going to do it for the GCL Diesel Oil Stream post-game show. Thank you to Hudson's White Avenue for having us on location. Great time. It's still pretty full here. People, despite the Oilers' loss, having some fun. It is Wing Wednesday, 59-cent wings. They do have their game day specials as well. Great to be here. Congrats to Hudson's. They won Best Bar None awards last night. And I say it's all Connor Yakubuski. He's a great leader. He's a great friend, and his staff does a tremendous job here. So thank you to Jordan once again. She was great all night long. And Shayla and Maddie Really appreciate them having us here. And a big thank you to everybody who tuned in, whether you watched or you listened, either on iHeartRadio, TuneIn Radio, or you watched on YouTube. Thank you guys so very much. For Ben Thomson and Matt Cassian, I'm Tom Gazolla saying have a great night. We'll see you tomorrow right here on Edmonton Sports Talk. Ciao for now.